Hey everybody, want to welcome you to my channel. Today I want to talk about letting go of yourself in order to find God. Now, for the longest time I didn't fully understood what this meant, but this is something that I learned in the prison ministry when I was in Cumberland County Prison in 2015, I believe. And the speaker came in and they said in order to rely on God, to turn your will over to God, you had to come to the end of yourself. And when you were willing to come to the end of yourself, then you finally would be more willing to align with what God wants you to do in your life. Now, this didn't come very easy, and I didn't fully understand it at the time until I started working the 12-step program. So in the 12-step program, the first step, I had to admit that I had a problem. The second step, I had to find a higher power, which for me was God. In the third step, I had to turn my will over to that higher power. And in order for me to do that, meant I had to let go of my will, my old thinking, my habits, my drugs. I had to let go of all that, because as long as I was putting a drug in my body, I had a higher power. Once I finally let go of the drug, now I was finally able to let God in. When God got into my life, things started changing for the better. It didn't happen right away. I wasn't like one of those people, like I started following God and all of a sudden like everything was cured and I was happy-go-lucky and it was sunshine and rainbows every single day. I don't even understand that logic. But what I can tell you though is that things slowly started getting better. And when things slowly started getting better, what I mean by that is that in my life, I started to accomplish the things that I thought that I couldn't do. I started to progress forward with goals. I got a high school diploma, well, a GED. I went to college and I started doing the things that I thought that I could never do, because when I am aligned with God's will, then I can do God's purpose. Until I aligned with God's will, I was standing still. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even standing still. I was falling back. I was going further and further and further into my addiction. I was starting to sacrifice my morals and all this. I was homeless. I was living out in the streets, and I wasn't even really hardly surviving. And multiple times I was overdosing. And then when I started following God's will, everything started falling in place. And that opened up the opportunity for me to do the 4th through 12th step, which I'll touch on a little bit later on. But yeah, that's my part of my testimony about finding God, following God, and sticking with God. Thank you.